So with the next exercise, what we're going to do is create some kind of render function that will output the objects. So here I have an objects, food, and now we're going to create some kind of template literal that will output an unordered list. So let's say something like this. Backticks. Shift enter to make some space. I'll create li tags. Shift enter. Okay, so just for now, I'm just going to put some default text, and then I'm going to do an inner HTML on some kind of parent tag. So I think I'll change this section. So let me right-click that and slowly hover upwards. Oh, I think it would be this here. So either this one or this one. I'm gonna use this one here. Actually, this one has an ID, so I'll use this one. So I'll copy that. That section equals. Actually, because it's an ID, I can just simply use get element ID. Okay, so let me just see if I have it. I do. So that means I could say something like this, equals some HTML. Let's see what happens to this section as soon as I click on enter. There it is. So there's the data. Now what would be more beneficial is if these hard-coded information was some kind of variable. So let's go back to this one again. So what I really want to say is something like this. So because we're using food, we're going to use the price, the weight, and the location. And because we're using template literals, these have to be in curly brackets. Okay, now as it stands, obviously this obj is not defined. So what we'd like to do is wrap it in a function. We'll just call the function render, and now the object will be defined because that will be a parameter that is passed. And at the end of this, because this is just simply making a string, we're going to return that string. There we go. So, right. So that means if I just do render food, so I'm passing my food object, which is over here. Let's see what happens to the console. So it produces the string I want, which means if I assign it now to the section over here, I say equals, and then the output of the function, the string, let's see what happens to the web page. Perfect. So now the next step is if I had food, let me just click on the up arrow until I'm there. So if I modified my food array so that it said it was an array of objects, let me just put a comma here, shift enter, let me just copy this object and paste it in here and just change a couple of things. And then enter. That means I could simply say render, and instead of food, I could pass in maybe the first object. Actually, let me pass in the second object just to make it look different on the screen. So as soon as I press enter, the web page should. What did I? Oh, right. So we need to assign the string. That should work. So let's look at the web page now. Right, so it changed to the second object. And similarly, if I had passed in the first, changes again.